Starting out on your mirrorless camera journey and looking to buy your first prime lens without breaking the bank? The 7Artisans 25mm f1.8 might just be the lens for you. What's up? I'm r.j.baculo, filmmaker, comic book creator, and mental health ambassador, here to empower you to become better visual storytellers. When I first got my Sony APS-C mirrorless camera, I knew eventually I would have to expand from the kit lens that came bundled with it, with at least a prime lens or two. For those who are new to the world of photography and DSLR or mirrorless cameras, a prime lens is a fixed focal length lens, meaning it doesn't zoom, which translates to better low light performance and that pleasing shallow depth of field effect, where the background is blurry, separating the subject. Some of these prime lenses have built-in autofocus, like the Sigma 16mm f1.4 that I'm using right now, while others are completely manual, meaning it's up to your eye and your hand to get the right focus. These kind of lenses are usually cheaper because of the simplified construction of the lens. The 7Artisans 25mm f1.8 is one such lens. It is a lightweight and compact multi-purpose lens. Has a 7-element 5-group optical design. The lens has a fast and bright maximum aperture of f1.8 for low-light photography and bokeh. Mounted on an APS-C sensor, it equals to a 37.5mm focal length, which is widely used in photography for landscape, portrait, macro, food, and other subjects. The lens has a premium fit and finish and is available for the Sony, Fujifilm, and Canon mounts. Let's talk about some of the pros. Now, it's a very small lens, but has a very solid, hefty build to it. It's all metal. It is very light and compact, which is perfect for travel or street photography. And I would say it even has decent sharpness, at least at the center. With the wide aperture, you can get some nice, pleasing bokeh. And of course, you can get some really low light shots with that low aperture. The 25mm focal length might be a little wide, but it's still a handy length, especially for street photography or you're just taking casual shots. One thing I have to say is this lens has a certain character to it, almost a vintage kind of look, like the old SLR manual lenses, which is kind of lost today with today's lenses having it super sharp and crisp. Also, I think what's great about this lens is it's a great learning experience, especially if you're new to photography, learning manual focus and learning to compose your shots, not with a zoom, but you actually getting active and moving on your feet. And lastly, what's great about it is its low price. It's literally one of the cheapest lenses out there on the market, and yet the quality is still very good. Now for a few of the cons. I do have to say that sometimes, especially at the beginning, it can be really hard to nail that perfect focus. This is where that focus peaking feature on your camera can really help. Also, although the center may be sharp and in focus, the edges tend to be a little soft. But if you're taking portrait shots, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. And the other thing is, it does take quite a learning curve to get used to the manual focus, You really have to practice and build that muscle memory so that you know how to focus on the fly with a flick of a wrist. And lastly, some of the light flares, especially when it's in direct sunlight, can come out really weird in your photos. So who is this lens for? This is a great lens for beginners who are starting on their journey in photography or videography and want to explore prime lenses without breaking the bank. Obviously, this is also perfect for those who are budget-minded and can't simply afford the latest Sigma Art lens or the Sony G series. This is also a great lens for filmmakers who prefer manual focus anyways, and who want to capture a nuanced film look rather than the pristine, oversharp images that come out of today's modern lenses. Lastly, I would also recommend this lens as a fun learning exercise with shooting a manual fixed focal length, forcing you to be more active and creative on your feet to get the best composition or shot. Who is this lens not for? If you're looking for something more easier or convenient with autofocus for your next shoot, or you're just too lazy to use manual focus on a lens, then this lens might not be for you. Also, if you have a little extra money or you really plan on investing on your camera system, you might as well go for the exceptional Sigma 30mm f1.4 or the more pricier Sony 35mm. Otherwise, the 7Artisans 25mm f1.8 is a nifty little prime lens that is budget friendly, but still lets you achieve some excellent quality images, whether you're a budding photographer or an aspiring filmmaker. Hey, if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and support the channel by hitting subscribe so you can see more excellent content like this. Until next time, reframe your mind.